Hello, I'm Richard Hunter, Head of Markets, and welcome to our look ahead for the week commencing the 29th of June. It's been a fairly turbulent week, but markets have ended up fairly flat. We're pretty much where we were this time last week. Obviously, it's still pretty much COVID-19 related. There have been fears of a second wave and outbreaks in the likes of Florida, Texas, and indeed Arizona in the States have led to some concerns that perhaps the economic recovery might not be coming quite as quickly as had been hoped. On top of that, of course, you've actually got the likes of New York insisting that people coming from those other states actually go into quarantine. So that kind of interstate quarantine effect has also had an impact on sentiment. So the markets, as I say, pretty much where we were last week. The Dow Jones in the year to date down around 10%. S&P 500 down 4.5%. Nasdaq still continues to motor ahead as technology becomes even more central to our lives. Nasdaq up 12%. Our own FTSE 100 still down about 18%. So moving on to next week, obviously marks the end of the first half as we go into July. In terms of the US, it's going to be a 4-day week. They've got an Independence Day holiday on Friday the 3rd of July, meaning that the non-farm payroll figures will actually be taking place on Thursday the 2nd. Obviously, last month we had a massive positive shock in terms of the non-farms. It will be very interesting to see on the basis of what we've just been saying about COVID, where the US economy is actually placed. In the UK, a couple of interesting company updates to keep a note out for. First quarter trading statement from Sainsbury is due. These shares have had something of a turbulent year. The shares are down 10% in the year to date, but since the March lows, actually up 18%. They've tended to do rather better in terms of online and convenience stores, but they are now set up against Tesco, who have obviously very much got their eye on the ball in terms of what they've been doing during the pandemic. So it may well be that somewhere like Argos, for example, makes its own contribution. Other one to bear in mind is Associated British Foods, a trading update, and this will very much be focused in on what Primark have been doing. Obviously, some of their stores have now been reopened. During that lockdown, they were basically writing off around £650 million worth of sales per month through the stores that were open. So it'll be interesting to see whether there's any early indications from the company, the subsidiary of AB Foods, as to whether they're making progress. So an interesting week as we go into the second half of the year in prospect. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.